Good evening. Welcome to the Board of Commissioners meeting for December 22nd, 2016. We're glad you're with us today. Our custom is to present the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance to our country's flag prior to calling the meeting to order. Tonight, our invocation will be presented by Rabbi Dorsch from Congregation Etz Chaim on Indian Hills Parkway. That'll be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. That'll be presented by firefighter Kyle Williams, who has been with Cobb Fire since November of '98 and is assigned to Station 1 B shift. For those that wish to do so, please come forward for the invocation, or stand please for the invocation and the pledge.
Let us pray. O God, our God and God of our ancestors, we ask your blessing for our country, for its leaders and for its advisors, and all who exercise just and rightful authority. Teach them insights of your Torah and from all of our holy scriptures, that they may be the leadership that we strive to be. Teach them insights of your Torah, that they may administer all affairs of state fairly, that peace and security, happiness and prosperity, justice and freedom may forever abide in our midst. Creator of all flesh, bless the inhabitants of this country with your spirit, that citizens of all races and creeds may form a common bond in true harmony to banish all hatred and bigotry and to safeguard the free institutions which are the pride and glory of our country. May this land under your providence be an influence for good throughout the world, uniting all people and peace and freedom, and helping to fulfill the vision of your prophet. Nation shall not put up sword against nation, neither shall they experience war anymore. And let us say amen.
Amen. Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen.
Thank you, Rabbi, and thank you, Firefighter Williams. We'll now call this meeting to order. So we're going to move to tab 1. The first agenda and your printed agenda item will be pulled for consideration at a later date. Commissioners, we need to add a second item. It is to present a proclamation to the South Cobb Lions in recognition of their strong commitment to service and greening efforts. And bring that forward in the form of a motion to add to the agenda. Is there a second?
Second.
Call the question. Motion carries 5-0. It is now part of our agenda. Commissioner Cupid.
Good evening, everyone. Is this up high? Can you hear me? Okay, wonderful. Tonight I have the honor of recognizing one of our organizations in South Cobb Lions, for their contributions towards keeping our area clean and beautiful. With that, if we have representation from the South Cobb Lions, will you please join us up front? I know we have representation from South Cobb Lions because they all are in those nice yellow vests, so please join me up front. Hey, Barry, how are you? Good to see you. How are you? Good. Hey, how are you? How are you doing? Good. Hey, good to see you. Thank you.
Hey there, how you doing?
Good, how are you? Good. Well, this is not the first time that we've had the Lions Club up here. They've been up here before for their efforts with Keep Cobb Beautiful. They have taken remarkable initiative prior to, I think, them even partnering with Keep Cobb Beautiful and working to clean up many of our corridors in the South Cobb area. I don't know how many of you have had watched the news in some time past and heard of a litter bomber who was putting scraps of paper across the district, but we had an issue like that of somebody just littering in many of our corridors, some of them in Mapleton. And South Cobb Lions just took initiative to say, we are going to keep our own community clean. And with that, they have just really taken the helm and not just looking out for Mapleton, but for all of South Cobb. With that, they received an award last year, but they're also going to receive a national recognition for their efforts in January of 2017. And I would like to read this proclamation that we have to present to them on behalf of the Board of Commissioners to recognize some of your work, and then I'm going to let you talk about some of your work if you don't mind. Okay. Whereas, led by the motto, "We serve," the South Cobb Lions Club has actively pursued a pledge to help keep Cobb beautiful. Keep Georgia Beautiful recently held its 2016 annual awards banquet, and the South Cobb Lions Club was honored as Nonprofit Litter Prevention Organization of the Year. And whereas a couple of years ago, club volunteers began participating in Cobb County's Adopt a Mile program and cleaning up a few busy streets in Mableton. But soon they found other areas in need of attention and answered the call to beautify as many communities as possible through Mableton and Austell. Over the previous year alone, the club has removed 462 bags of litter, 145 tires, and 108 pieces of furniture from the South Cobb area. We know Bill Shelton from DOT is thanking you tremendously. And whereas because of the organization's great efforts and commitment to improving our community, the South Cobb Lions Club was also honored with the inaugural Greenleaf Award from Keep Cobb Beautiful in 2015. In January 2017, the South Cobb Lions Club will be presented with the 2016 Civic Organization Community Improvement Award from Keep Cobb Beautiful. Keep America Beautiful, thank you. And whereas Lions Club International is the world's largest service organization with about 1.3 million members in more than 45,000 clubs in more than 200 countries, the South Cobb chapter of the Lions Club was established in 1952. And therefore, we, the Cobb County Board of Commissioners, do hereby honor the South Cobb Lions Club for its strong commitment to service and tireless efforts to beautify our community. This, the 22nd day of December, 2016. Thank you so much for all you do. So with that, I'm going to let the organization share a few words about.
Yes, thank you very much, Commissioner Cupid. I'd like to thank Keep Cobb Beautiful. None of this would have been, we couldn't have done it without them, and with Cobb DOT. We really appreciate all their help in our community as well. Anybody else want to speak?
I think that Keep Cobb Beautiful is a good initiative. However, it's almost embarrassing to know that we live in a community that distributes so much trash. So y'all help us all do better and keep the trash to yourself. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for all you do. We're going to go ahead.
All right, everybody on three. 1, 2, 3. Gotcha. Thank you.
This takes us to tab 2, our first public comment period. Counselor.
Mary Kirkendall is the first one to sign up.
Hi, Chairman and Commissioners. And hopefully the incoming chairman will be watching. Can I get you to stick that in? And can you I've got a couple pictures here, but I'm here to talk about the outdated tethering ordinances, animal ordinances in Cobb County. I was informed yesterday that, thank you, Lisa Cupid and Ms. Burrell, you guys are going to co-sponsor if a new tethering ordinance is written. That's at least what I was told by community development. The problem we're having, first let me talk about, everybody saw this beautiful dog Lucky that was in Cobb County, almost starved to death this week. And this isn't about the tethering, but this is certainly about humane treatment of animals. And Cobb has its share of problems, and we definitely need to bring in education of humane treatment of animals, and it needs to start with the animal control services, which right now there seems to be something lacking in that department. But this is Lucky, the dog that was turned over to a foster home, And you can turn to the next picture. And this is how he was found after 30 days. Thank God he's recovering and it looks like he's going to survive. But we've got to bring in some education to the Animal Services Department and get on par with, and I'm going to say it again, Gwinnett. We don't need to be, Cobb County's motto is expect the best, but so many of our ordinances are so outdated. And, but as far as the tethering, Cobb County is one of the very few counties in the metro Atlanta that still allows tethering to a fixed point post 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. We have animals that are suffering right now, and the animal control director, Captain Owens, is aware of these animals, and he thinks they're fine. We've got to take some action before you even, I heard that to work on this ordinance, it might come up next April or May. These dogs aren't going to survive another winter out here in the cold. But that's happening all over Cobb because you guys are complicit with this. You are involved in animal abuse because you haven't changed these ordinances. Gwinnett County and Douglas County allow only supervised tethering on a trolley pulley system. You can't even put your dog on a trolley unless you are out there with the dog, and that is Gwinnett and Douglas. DeKalb and Fulton will allow the animal to be on a trolley system, unfortunately, because they just are not going to get as tough as Douglas and Gwinnett. But I say, if you guys change the ordinance, you need to go all the way with it. We've got to stop these dogs from being tethered without having supervision. And Gwinnett County actually has part of their ordinance that the animals can't be out during stormy weather, extreme conditions, including heat and freezing. We've got to get the public educated, but I want to know why the animal control they should be the ones wanting to bring these new ordinances, but I don't see that happening. So, and I don't know if I can address Mr. Hankerson, but you've been here for 23
No, you're
years.
supposed to direct comments to the
So
chair.
why, well, I just don't know why this is still going on. But if I have a minute, I'll read
No, you have 40
Gwinnett's.
seconds. You have 40 seconds.
Well, it's empty. We ought to get a little extra time tonight on your last night here. I guess you want to get out of here as quick as possible, huh? Gwinnett's ordinance says tethering an animal by a trolley system is the only approved form or tether. Single point tethering is prohibited. Animals cannot be tethered to a trolley during extreme weather, including heat, freezing temperatures, and storms. Under the revised ordinance, the owner or custodian must be with a tethered animal at all times, and the animal must be in sight of the owner. I spoke to their director 2 days ago, and they went out at 3 a.m. on Monday night and
Kuykendall, I'm sorry, your time is
wrote a citation for a dog that was outside without the owner outside.
Thank you.
We
Thank
got to
you.
do something.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kara MacArthur.
Can you put them in? She's talking and just let them roll through. You don't mind if I keep I didn't show all the pictures. I was just rolling through while we're talking. Sure.
To piggyback on Mary for a little bit, I've actually was born and raised in this county, and I currently work for an animal rescue that services the metro Atlanta area. I've also worked with the Humane Society on passing anti-tethering laws and animal welfare laws, and I've done a lot of research for them, and it's been proven that when there is either more supervision.
Can we have your name for the record, please?
Oh, Kara MacArthur.
Thank you.
When there is more supervision and no fixed point tethering, there are actually less aggressive animals and less dog attacks. So at a certain point, it's not even just the animal welfare that you're looking at, it's a public safety issue. Because if you're creating these dogs and making them slightly more aggressive, which does tend to happen when there's fixed point tethering, then those aggressive animals in the community become a danger to the community. It's not even just a matter of animal welfare, although that is what we care about primarily coming from an animal rescue background. I'm also concerned about my community if these dogs are just left tethered and unsupervised. There are a slew of things that can happen, including people being attacked. Not only is the animal in danger, but people are. And them being left outside 24/7, we also have coyotes in this community. So it's not the animal themselves are in danger whether they're being taken care of or not. They're still left out in the elements. They're left to have to face predators while they're tethered. And they're going to naturally just decline in their welfare. And it's a serious issue because it's not good for the animal's welfare and not good for the people in general. So I guess my biggest point is we definitely need to get rid of fixed point tethering and lack of supervision for animals that are left even on a trolley. She's gone through a lot of the points that can happen and things that are going on in our community, but we've seen dogs just become less aggressive when they're taken care of better, when they're not tethered up. It's remarkable. If the dog is doing well, then the community is going to do well. So that's just my plea, is that for the sake of not only the animals in our community, but also the people, that we fix these these tethering laws. Get rid of fixed point, add it to a trolley, make sure that it's supervised, make sure that we follow decent guidelines that look out for the animals and our community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mary Lou Stevens.
Mary Lou Stevens, 156 Blair Valley Drive, Marietta. Good evening, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. I'm here representing my husband, Dan, and myself, and we just want to thank the chairman. I know that there's no question in your mind that we appreciate everything that you've done for this county, but at your last public meeting, we wanted to thank you publicly and say that we know that you have given wise and thoughtful and fair decisions throughout your term of service. I don't particularly consider you a great politician and have never introduced you as such, but definitely is a wonderful public servant. Politically, you're not always the wisest one because you've not said what people wanted to hear. You've said what you were thinking, and you've worked hard for the county. It's amazing how many people don't even know that we have a commission and a commission chairman. We have a lot of happy people in this county, and they get up and they go to work every day. They're thankful for what they have around them in their ability to live, work, and play. And they've truly, when you talk to them, don't even know who it is that's making decisions. And that's a shame. But for those of us who really do understand what you have done, we thank you so much for your service.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Andrea Miller.
Good evening. Thank you so much for your time, especially so close to the holidays. We really do appreciate you hearing our voices. I'm also here to speak on behalf of all of the animals that are not being treated very fairly right now in our beautiful Cobb County. I'm very Atlanta proud, especially Smyrna proud and Cobb County proud. And I've been living in the house that I'm in for 2.5 years. Moved here from Nashville, Tennessee. And I love so many things about the community, but one of the things that I don't appreciate is the tethering laws. I've noticed and worked with a lot of community rescues. I work for a lot of nonprofits that help for shelter animals, and I have a really big heart for them. As a woman that's not able to conceive, I've taken in animals, dogs mostly, as my children, so I don't expect everyone to uphold the same kind of lifestyle I'm giving mine, as I spoil them incredibly. However, I have a neighbor that is not treating their animals with any kind of consideration in the slightest. I see these dogs outside every single day, tethered to their homes on a 6-foot chain. They can barely hold up because they're so emaciated. When they go out to shake the bugs off of their ears that are eaten alive from all of whatever it is that is surrounding their fecal-filled areas, they fall over due to emaciation. The Cobb County Animal Control has been out there, and a gentleman, I won't mention his name, that works there said that the dogs were in fine condition. I don't know what that means on his behalf, but if he has dogs and he considers that fine condition, I'd like to see them as well. It's very frustrating to look out there and know that we have such an amazing community, and to see that this is an opportunity in the slightest for animal owners to treat their animals this way. I have my niece and nephew here tonight to show them that you guys are the representation for us when it comes to changing these laws that can help save these animals' lives. And I'm hoping that we could possibly get some kind of forward momentum with this, and to show them that working toward a goal, as I am doing right now to change these laws, is actually going to happen. I can't stand the idea of living in the home any longer, that I've actually started looking for a new location to live because I can't stand to see this. I wanted to share this with you in hopes that you'll take into consideration what it is that Mary said. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Counselor?
That concludes the public speaking to this
Thank
evening.
you. So tab 3 is our consent agenda. I'd like to bring forward a motion to approve the consent agenda as revised and authorize the execution of the necessary documents by the appropriate county personnel. Is there a second? Any comments? Call the question. The motion carries 5-0. Thank you. That takes us to tab 4, one item. This item is being presented by the clerk of Superior Court, the Honorable Rebecca Keaton. Ms. Keaton.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Chairman Lee, Commissioners. I am seeking to, the purpose of this is I'm seeking to authorize the refunding of position number 106000009 that was unfunded in the current fiscal year budget. The background of this is thus. 2016 and 2017 budgets, I had 2 positions in each one of those budgets that were unfunded. In 2016, those 2 positions that were unfunded in the budget that was approved became funded when they were filled in my office. Literally, we hired those folks and filled those positions. So I had no knowledge at that time, or any time for that matter, but no knowledge at that time that any positions in my office were unfunded. Then in this 2017 budget, I also have 2 different positions that were unfunded. One of those 2 positions became funded when it was filled by someone in my office. It was filled. Now the other position that was unfunded is the one that I'm speaking of right now. So the bottom line is I had no knowledge at all that I had positions in my budget that had ever been unfunded. I called the finance department and asked them what is unfunding. And of course, they proceeded to tell me that these positions had been unfunded. And they had no knowledge that the positions had been filled. So I'm asking this position to once again be funded, just as all the other positions had been funded. And this is frankly, in my position, it's a matter of transparency. I mean, how am I to know if I look at a budget? And the budget years, by the way, for all those years has gone up in the personnel side of the budget. It's gone up every year. So there's no way of me knowing, and I venture to say that many of you did not know that I had positions in the office that were unfunded. So if I don't know and you guys don't know, then how am I supposed to have an opportunity to object to a budget that has positions that are not funded if I have no knowledge of that? And I can state in my place that the finance department did not notify me. I think I was probably maybe the only elected official that was not notified. I mean, I don't know that, but I know that I was not notified. Not by an email, no notification whatsoever. So again, I'd like you to fund that position. Now, the impact of that is the full year cost of $50,589.28 will be requested in the FY18 adopted budget. And the funding will be available in the general fund with the following appropriations. The increased revenue, and I've got the item 010-165-8600-4980, the general fund balance would be $36,757.26. The increased revenue would be $36,757.26. And it's this amount that is needed to reinstate the position for FY17. The recommendation is that the Board of Commissioners authorize the refunding of position 106-00009, which is a grade 40, to be effective January 1st, 2017, in the current fiscal year budget, and further authorize the corresponding budget transactions.
Mr. County Manager, do you have any thoughts or any background on this you want to share, or do we have exactly what we need?
In what way, Mr. Chairman? When we were doing the budget and you were speaking to the elected official and constitutional officers, we talked about this, not item by item, but there would be some unfunded positions. I believe Bill Volkman in his budget presentation talked about unfunded positions effective a certain date. I can't speak to whether the clerk was personally notified. It was our intent. If there wasn't, it was an oversight. But it was a way that we were looking at the budget to get it balanced.
So is this filled right now?
No, not
No,
this
it's
one.
not filled
Okay.
right now because I found out that the
It's
position.
an authorized position. It's just not funded.
Correct.
Okay.
Oh, correct. And the only reason why I found out this position was not funded is because I was about to fill it.
I got you.
And the HR called me and said, by the way, the position is not
Gotcha.
funded.
Okay. Commissioner Burrow.
I'm just going to kind of speak my opinion here. I understand the need for this position, and whether you knew or not, or whether it was conveyed to you or not, it's my understanding that the vacant positions, not just in your department, but across the board, we were unfunded, or a certain percentage, majority of those, were unfunded for this fiscal year budget. And when we passed this budget as a continuation budget, we asked that all the departments, all the constitutional officers, elected officials come back after the first of the year to make their requests. We have had requests not just from departments internally, but also from other constitutional officers as yourself and elected officials that we have not funded for this 17 budget. So I don't have a problem with you coming back in January and asking for this and funding this, but I don't think it's fair or right that we do this for one and not be consistent when we've declined other requests from other elected officials, constitutional officers, and our own departments. And that's all. I mean.
Sure.
Well, could I respond just
Sure.
by saying that I'm, these other departments and other elected officials, have they come before you just as I have and have been turned down in front of the commissioners? Commissioner Cupid, is that true?
Great. We're gonna have to, Ms. Keaton, we're gonna have to keep this one at a time, just for the sake of folks watching at home. So Commissioner Ott, I recognize Tim.
Okay.
So let me do that first.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I agree with Commissioner Burrow, and yes, to answer the question, they did not necessarily come in this forum, but they came in front of each of us in our offices with proposals for what they wanted. We got lists. Matter of fact, at the end of the budget process, we got a list that listed all the different requests with the including millage increase that would be required to fund those. And as a commission, we decided pretty much unilaterally that we would not fund anything until January. Mr. County Manager, who picked where this was going to be paid for from? Because normally what happens is if something's going to be funded, it goes through you and the finance department. Did you pick this to come from the funding?
No, I was not asked where, but that's the only place unless she found it funded somewhere else for it to come from.
This came directly from the finance department. It came from Buddy
Is a
Taysar.
suggestion to
And
where
this
to fund it
was-
from?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Chairman, anyway, back to the, I agree with Commissioner Burrow. I just think that in the interest of fairness and, treating all the elected officials and the other department heads internally that, that we told they needed to wait till January, that I have to stick to that.
Any other comments? Commissioner Cupid? Okay.
On the matter of fairness, I do believe that it would be consistent for us to wait until January. But I think in listening to the clerk's comments, there is also a matter of fairness that's being overlooked. She is a head elected official, a head of an agency, and did not know that positions were being cut in her agency and followed a process that she has consistently followed in the past. And for sake of wanting to be consistent for something which we did not unilaterally agree, because I did not agree with our approach to this year's budget, nor how we're waiting to fund the positions, we are willing to subvert her desire for fairness because of our desire for consistency. And I think the two need to be balanced. There was some communication in today's work session about how this is not just a nebulous concept of numbers. Our decisions are impacting operations. As we heard during public comment, how the chairman has done a lot for Cobb, and we've all seen the growth of Cobb. We have allowed this county to grow without a corresponding reflection of how we fund our operations. And that is not fair. I don't think it's fair that you put on an incoming person who has not had the same level of experience of people on this board, some who are serving multiple terms, to have to make significant decisions for the entire county in his first month of being here, while these elected officials who've been serving diligently, leading operations of hundreds, have to wait for that, knowing their numbers are going up and their operations are going to be diminished. When we operate to expect the best, that means we deliver it. And so, again, I hear what we're saying for sake of fairness, but it's one thing to speak in principle, and it's another thing to have to understand the practical impact of that. And I just am not hearing how we are considering the practical impact of our approach, I won't say our, that is not my, of the majority approach of this board, and letting every request for any increase, whether it be for pay in class, whether it be for new positions or other retirement or other matters, to fall on somebody's first month of coming to serve a county of over 700,000 people. I just don't understand it.
Commissioner Weatherford.
Couple of questions, Mr. County Manager. Do you have a recollection of how many we unfunded during this budget cycle, approximately?
No, Bill, would you come forward? Do you have any idea?
I think it's 91 positions.
91?
91 positions were unfunded.
Sir, I don't have the exact count. What we did is we addressed it by department. So we funded public safety positions only, and everybody else received no funding for their vacant positions.
Okay.
So it wasn't a count, it was just by department and to help balance the budget.
So every other department was unfunded, and that was what we did in the budget?
That's correct, just public
And
safety
how-
and sheriff.
And how were we notifying elected officials and department heads?
We included it in the budget presentation. We reached out to departments. I can't speak to Ms. Keaton's notification, but I know budget staff tried to send out emails and phone calls to all departments and let them know. But again, we included it in budget presentation as well as any meetings we had with departments directly.
Okay. Thank you. And I guess the last question I have is for Ms. Keaton. If this was funded in January, what impact would that have as opposed to being funded tonight on you? You have this person ready to go?
Well, if it's funded tonight, then that means it can be effective January 1, which is when I want it to be effective. And yes, I do have I mean, we're constantly hiring and people are leaving and we have vacancies and,
Well, you and I discussed, and I agree that this position needed, and you justified why you needed this position. I have no doubt of that. But also, and I can't speak to why you weren't notified, but I tend to agree that everyone across the board was asked to take these, and I'm not sure why you didn't do it. So, you know, I have no problem funding it, but I'm not certain that we shouldn't do this in respect to what Commissioner Cupid is referring to, and I tend to agree that this will be a lot coming forward, but I'm not sure everyone else has them funded. And I think if we funded it in January, that we could get it pretty quickly, and that would only be a 30-day delay.
Do you know if you have
That'd be
any
awesome.
funded unfilled positions?
I'm sorry?
Do you know if you have any funded unfilled positions currently?
I have 3 unfunded that are filled and became funded.
But
So-
do you have any positions that are funded, but there's nobody there right now?
No,
Okay, so you filled all your funded positions?
no. Yes, yes, sir, they're all filled. And
Okay.
just to respond, I had no knowledge. I was told that an email should have been sent to me, and it wasn't. I'm not saying there was anything intentional, but apparently it was not sent to me. And so I didn't have any notice. So it's not as if, if all the other departments were notified, I was the only elected official that was not notified. And I went to the same meeting everybody else went to, and so did my chief deputy. And with all due respect, I don't recall any mention that positions were being unfunded that were vacant, because had I known that, I would have run out of that meeting, looked at all my vacancies, and immediately hired if I needed to. But that was not spoken in the meeting. And I was at the meeting again, and so was my chief deputy. So
what's the pleasure of the board? I need a motion first. If we're gonna move forward on this, someone's gotta present a motion.
I move that the board authorize refunding of position 106000009 that was unfunded in the current year fiscal budget for the clerk of Superior Court, per agenda item number 1.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any other comments? Call the question. Motion carries 3-2. Commissioner Weatherford, no, Commissioner Burrow and Commissioner Ott in opposition.
all right, thank you.
Tab 5, public comment, or second public comment.
Monica, I'm sorry, I can't read the last name. Monica?
Yes.
Hi, my mom's outside right now, but I know she wanted to present these awards to the commissioners for all that they do in the community, and she's coming in right now.
No problems at all. Always glad to
Oh,
see you.
thank you. Oh, so we have awards here for Commissioner Joanne Barrow, Commissioner Lisa Cupid, Commissioner Bob Welford, and Commissioner Bob Ott, and Chairman Tim Lee.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for letting us be here tonight.
Thank
And you have
you.
a happy holidays.
Thank you. Merry Christmas. Thank you, dear.
Wow, thank you.
I'm gonna keep an eye on you. I see good things coming out of you.
That's it,
Yeah,
Chair.
she does.
There's no one
yes.
else on the list.
I believe there's somebody came late that wanted to speak. Is that true?
Mr. Loud, you gonna sign up or not?
He's good, thank goodness.
Never mind,
All right.
okay.
Thank you. So that takes us to tab 6, appointments. The first one is the Board of Commissioners approve the appointment of Thomas Hollander as a pilot member to the Airport Advisory Board to fill a 2-year term to expire on October 6th, 2018. Is there a second?
Second.
Call the question. Motion carries. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. Agenda item 2 is to the Board of Commissioners approve the appointments to the Hospital Authority of Cobb County as follows: Fort Dickman, Post 1, Michael Goodman, Post 2, Steve Wilson, Post 6, Wallace Goopwood, Post 8, and Roy Vanderslice, Post 9, for term balance to expire on August 7, 2022. Is there a second?
Second.
Any comments? Call the question. Motion carries 5-0. The third one is to the Board of Commissioners to approve the reappointment of Carter Chapman to the Airport Advisory Board for a term to expire December 22, 2018. Is there a second?
Second.
Any comments? Call the question. That motion carries 5-0. Thank you, Commissioners. Tab 7, public address. Commissioners' public address. Who wants to go first? Commissioner Ott.
So is this a roast or?
I hope not. I have my thank you for your service plaque. That's all I need right there.
Well, first off, I want to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and Happy New Year. And I want to thank my assistant Kim for a tremendous job this year. Thank you. As we all know, tonight is the chairman's last night. I want to wish you well and wherever your feet end up.
Thank you.
Just want to thank you for all your service to the county and the things that you've done over this long time up here.
Yeah.
So you've seen a lot of different things and a lot of changes. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. Who wants to go next?
Okay.
Commissioner Burrow.
Thank you, sir.
Make sure you watch your timer.
I do have one announcement before I get into my other recognitions. Keep Cobb Beautiful. First, congratulations to the South Cobb Lions Club. I know they've left, but I was at the Keep Georgia Beautiful Awards luncheon where they received a first place honor, and now they'll be going to Washington, D.C. to receive a Keep America Beautiful National Award. So congratulations to them, very well done. And in light of Keep Cobb Beautiful, bring one for the chipper. We have several locations, and there are flyers in the back that give the locations for the Home Depots that are sponsors for you to drop off and recycle your Christmas trees, your live Christmas trees after the holidays.
Probably dead by now.
And also some of our parks that are on the list throughout the county. So there's flyers in the back for you to recycle your Christmas trees. And I do want to wish everyone a blessed Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays. Enjoy time off with your families and friends over the holidays. I look forward to 2017 and what the new year brings to this board as well. And I'd also like to thank the staff and all the volunteers throughout the county that work tirelessly all through the year. My assistant, Inger Eberhardt, who I couldn't do what I do without Inger, and everybody knows that. And all our citizens that participate in zonings and public comment and are truly concerned about our community. And last but not least, I'd like to thank the man to my left. Chairman Lee has been a great resource for me over the last 6 years as he sat in the seat before me. So he had a lot of wisdom and advice and knowledge to share with me that he did. He always listened, even if he didn't want to, he always listened. We could argue, we could disagree, but at the end of the day, we could air our differences and move on to the next best thing. So I want to thank him for not only his years of service to this county and what all he has done to make it a great place to live, work, and play, but also his friendship and his support of me in my role. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Commissioner Weatherford.
Thank you. Again, I would like to add Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and let's not forget the reason for the season. But I would like to personally echo Commissioner Burrell and Commissioner Ott's comments about Chairman Lee. Over many, many years before I came on this board, he was a friend of mine and helped me in my role as city councilman in Ackworth and various other boards that we worked on together. I've always considered him a friend and a mentor, and his legacy will live on. He's done a tremendous job for this county. He has given his heart and soul, and many of us don't even realize all the work he does sometimes, both behind the scenes and working and doing things that we just don't realize that an official does. One of the things I admire the most about him is I consider him an elected official and not a politician. An elected official does what's right no matter what. A politician does what's right to get elected. And Chairman Lee's always done what's right for this county. And I'm honored to call you my friend, sir. Godspeed.
Thank you. Commissioner Cupid.
Thank you. Any of us who serves behind the dais up here does this as a labor of love. None of us will ever be recognized for all of the sacrifice or contribution that we make in serving constituents on a local level. And I believe that of all of us and of our chairman. You know, it's not unknown that the chairman and I have had our ups and downs. And as I thought about our relationship over the past 4 years, a scripture actually came to mind, which I will share. And I think it's fitting for any of the ups and downs that we have in life. Philippians 4:8 reads, "Finally, brethren, whatever things are true, whatever things are noble, whatever things are just, whatever things are pure, whatever things are lovely, whatever things are of good report, if there is any virtue, and if there is anything praiseworthy, you meditate on these things." I want to meditate on the things that were good. And those are the things that I want to remember. And I wish you the very best in your path forward from here.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I said earlier this morning in agenda prep that this county, in my mind, is the best county in the Southeast, and I'll argue across this country, not solely because of the 5 people here or the 5 people that have preceded us and as commissioners, but because of the 4,500 to 5,000 employees that come to work every day, dedicated to doing the best they possibly can as human beings to provide services to provide what Cobb County has come to expect is a high level of service at a very reasonable and very low cost. And I applaud them and appreciate them so very, very much for relentlessly doing that in spite of the commissioners getting in the way sometimes. To the county manager who has been here, golly, for a long time, 22 years as county commission, or as county manager, and I've learned a lot under him, both as a district commissioner and then as a chairman. And there's no way at all that I could be in this position now where I am with the understanding that I have of some of the things I do without the county manager's teachings and our closed door conversations where we clarified, I don't know what you said, but let me tell you what I heard. And when we got done having those conversations, we walked out together, having made a decision together and united in moving forward with that decision. And I share that with the commissioners as well. So the county manager and the staff, the leadership primarily that's taught me so much specifically over the 6 years, I want to say thank you so very, very much. Mr. County Manager has said this before also, it's easy to lead when good times. The 6 years I was chairman was some of the worst in the county's history. And being able to work together with a team of commissioners and the staff to work through that and come out on top, and I mean on top in the region and in the state, is something we can all be proud of. And to that end, I want to encourage everyone to be bold, to be decisive, keep your head up, be visionary, and figure out what needs to be done today to make sure that Cobb County continues to be the best place to live, work, play, and get a world-class education from pre-K all the way through your doctorate degree. There is no finer community in this region, and it's because of the people that live here, the 700,000 people that live here, and the people that work for Cobb County, and the cities that make it great. My comment to the board is please do not let the small, noisy minority eat away at our greatness. Be proud of our greatness. Be proud of who we are, and don't be ashamed to call Cobb great and stand up for it. Don't be afraid. Be bold, be decisive, and be deliberate in everything you do moving forward. And I know you will, because working with each of you over the last 4 years, you all have it in you to do just that. Sunday is Christmas Day. We talk in my church, First United Methodist Church, just up the street, about how Christmas time and Easter time are the 2 times of the year the most that people are seeking to be in a church. We have, at our particular church, and if you go to the Marietta Daily Journal, they have a long list of other churches with services, both on Saturday, Christmas Eve, and Sunday service. I invite you, if you're looking for a church home, even for the day, to pick a church and go see the hope. The hope that the birth of Christ gives us. Thank you. County Manager, anything further?
None other than, Mr. Chairman, I, as a county manager, have enjoyed working with you during these turbulent times. You came in, as you said, during the worst budgetary times ever. I've learned a lot from you. I hope you've learned a lot from me. You so stated. We will appreciate your leadership. We will cherish all the great things that we were able to accomplish together along with the board, because even with these times, with this Board of Commissioners and with your leadership, we're going to forever remember that. And we want to thank you for that. And I've never worked for a greater board, and we're going to miss you. As I always say, by the time we spend the time to get you where we want you to be, we're leaving. So, but we will miss you. We love you and wish you the best. Thank
Well,
you.
if I ever show up for public comment, would you please, you have permission, officer, to just take me, don't even let me get in the room, okay? If there's nothing else, we are adjourned. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Came back for the first time.